What's going on, everyone? We're here joined by my great friends. What a nice jersey you're wearing, Steve.
Yeah,
Steve
Steve,
Ponte
that's fire.
Corvo and Jorge Martinez from The Exchange. How are you guys doing, my friends?
Yo, Steve, because you brought the fire jersey, you start.
Yeah, man, we're feeling good, man. I'm always feeling good on the East Coast. Memorial Day is coming up slowly. I'm not going to let the Red Bulls results get to me right now. You know what I mean? They do this to me every year. I think it's just part of the plan. I don't know. I'm trying to psych myself up a little bit here. But Jorge, how we feeling though on that side?
Dude, I think that I mean it's a little bit early, but and we're gonna get into it, but Galaxy coming to town and then they got a derby. And the time that these two teams are meeting each other is it could possibly be at a crazy time for the both of them. So I'm excited for this week. But 2 weeks, we got to start talking. We got Derby coming, man. Let's go.
Yeah, the Rebels have started their crazy month of May, 8 games in 1 month, with a loss in Miami. We lost 4-1. I think Jorge, credit to you. You mentioned it in the last episode. This team was not going to do well against them. And yeah, unfortunately, I think by the first half, the game was decided. Yeah, it was 3-1, but it, just overall, the quality of Miami took over in that game. So let's talk about it for a little bit. Just what are some of your initial thoughts of the game? Cameron Harper, unfortunately, had a hamstring injury and wasn't able to start, even though he had a great game the last time that he was playing. We don't have him in the field. We struggled. What happened in this game against Miami?
Hmm. They didn't listen to us. They didn't listen to me. And I know Jorge said you can't keep it tight against these guys, but I believe this Red Bull team can keep it tight. You know why? Because we did prove it for a few weeks into months there to get to the MLS Cup final. That was what our success, started as. And what we did, we let up a goal in like the first 15 minutes, and then we let up the second one not too much longer after that, and then the game is already out of your hands at that point, and you have to change up your entire game plan. So
How
I'm
do you change your
disappointed.
game
I'm
plan for
disappointed because
Derby?
I know what they are capable, and Mark de Grande Pape or whatever his name is used this game as a measuring stick, saying that last year, remember we beat them at home last year 4-0, but they didn't have Messi and they were missing a few other guys, but they still had Busquets. So, but even with Messi, I mean, we don't even touch this team. We kind of lose ourselves in the moment, or it seems like everyone has an off game, or they lose themselves. They get too caught up in the moment. I'm not sure why, but playing simple, playing pragmatic is the way to get to these guys. You got to frustrate them. They're still walking a park for Messi. It looks like, especially on that goal. I mean,
Yeah, Jorge, talk to me because I think it's Steve. It is right. It was difficult to comprehend those two first goals because there were things that were not really were things that we probably could have done better, especially on that first goal. But Jorge, what did you think of that first half?
Uh First half, wiki, whack.
Here we
Wiki,
go.
Wiki's a liability. Um, he's a liability right now. Maybe with time he won't be. Um, but people should be worried that he's a little bit of a liability.
yep.
He made a big mistake, but then after he made the mistake, like he didn't even move to try to rectify the mistake. Like you see a lot of guys like commit fouls right after because they got beat, so they have to take the hit, but they make it happen.
Mhm.
He didn't even try, like he kind of just stopped. And you're like, dude, what just happened? What
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
just
saying. Where the
happened?
moment got too big for him, I think without singling Wiki Carmona out. That's what I was kind of leaning to. Where I guess we're still dealing with some guys that going through some growing pains, maybe some kids. I mean, I don't know what that play was. I mean, if you actually look back into the entire play, Wiki gets drawn into the middle of the field to try to make a tackle onto Messi. So he probably sees Messi. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to go in for a hard challenge." It's like, dude, you're supposed to be on the left wing. Okay. So then the ball gets swung out to the left wing and he's not out there. Okay. So he's starting to make his way out to that right wing back. And it's still like the right wing back has time to just kick the ball up and swing it across. And they swing in that cross. The ball gets played back out to Wiki. Okay. So this is a second chance now to make right on the play. And he just passes it, gives it right back to them. They send in another cross, goal. That's why it was pissed me off. He had two. I was like, the ball got swung out to his side. He didn't block the cross. Okay, here comes the ball again, and you have it. Just either kick it out or he sends it up the line straight to a Miami player and they swing it back in and then they score. And I was just like, dude. And the thing is that he didn't even sprint out to that player. It's like, dude, as soon as you gave away the ball, you should be fucking on his ass. I mean, this is Miami too. You got to give it all. I don't know what Wiki needs some bath salts or something, smelling salts. Dude, wake up, man. I mean, come on.
It's about playing it simple, man. It's about playing it simple. I think Wiki try to get, I guess, go for the throw in by kicking the ball hard towards the Miami player, but it backfired. And, I think it's just terrible, terrible play early minutes in the game, early 15 minutes. I think we struggle a lot with that. But then yeah, when Jorge mentions liability, I guess I want to ask you, where is the liability? Because I think that he just can't produce. He's not an offensive weapon for us. And we are playing, we rely on players like Emil Forsberg and Choupo-Moting to produce, and they're not doing that. They didn't do that against Miami, and Emil Forsberg did not look good.
What are your
Choupo-Moting
other
did not look
options
good.
other than Wiki? What are your other options?
Yeah, it's supposed
Let's
to be
talk about
Cam
the
Harper.
options.
Really, it's supposed to be Cam Harper or Lewis Morgan out there. It shouldn't really be Wiki.
And
This
what's
was
the deal right now? They're
this
both
was his
injured,
chance.
so
He's blowing it.
yeah, like I mean, but this is what it is. Think about it. Like he's the last guy on the bottom, and because of all the situations, he has to be the guy.
Yeah,
But
and
we all know he's not the fucking
the
guy.
fact that he's playing in this U.S. Open Cup, he's starting. I just he's starting again in this U.S. Open Cup game that we're playing right now as we speak. So I don't know what is going on with him and Sandro, but he's just running him out there every time, no matter what type of performance he gives. It seems like he's the only with Cam Harper out and Lewis Morgan out. I guess Sandro's like he's my only option out there. I'd like to know what Sandro's thinking after, especially after if he doesn't do anything against the Colorado Switchbacks, to see what our solution is on that left hand side. And that's why it's kind of like, all right, but Forsberg can only do so much. I literally saw Forsberg look off two different passes and he's probably trying to do too much now. He's like, all right, I'm just gonna take it myself. Where it's like, dude, pass the ball. But he's
Yeah.
looking to his left. He's like, fucking, I got Sofo or I got Wiki. Just like,
I think Sandro has a thing for young Venezuelans. So I don't
Hey, better
I
edit
don't
that out. You're gonna get canceled.
yeah, they're never gonna listen to this. But I do have to say one thing though. Emil Forsberg, I think you put on sorry, Steve, you make a great point. He tries to do too much. But you don't have to. You don't have to, because the way that the team was playing is just transition moments. Transition moments. You just need a good pass. And those
yeah,
turns, I think you're overthinking it. Um, I think when we talk about DPs again, we need them to be at their best. And we talked about the last game, he didn't do very well. This time against Miami, he also didn't show up. And that's a problem because we don't have offensive weapons or creative ideas up top. Um, I don't
yeah.
know. And it's not only
Plain and
Wiki.
simple. And that's what's crazy is like I see some people saying we didn't play that bad. I mean, we didn't. I do agree with that crowd. There was moments in that game in transition. I don't know how much you watched of it, Jumpy, where we actually didn't, we were kind of plucking away. We had our chances, but that was the thing. We got to play with our strong suits from the back. And we give away a goal in the first 10 minutes. Like, come on.
Yeah, there were chances. There were little bright spots, but the truth of the matter is like you have to finish. So whatever. It was over. By the time they tried to turn it on, it was over. Chopo got a goal. Right place, right time. He's good for that, right? He's good for one of those a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he also could have done better when his passes. I think he's holding on. He's holding on to the ball too much, or he just doesn't give the right pass.
He's
There
been
were
a dub since
opportunities.
New England.
Yeah, there were
Since
opportunities where like just be play
since New
quick.
England, he's been a dub.
You
They
know?
mentioned that in the broadcast as well.
Yeah. They
And
mentioned
that
it.
and
So
that was Sofo. We'll give a little credit to Sofo on that play with that header from the corner. So it was a good assist, a good goal. It could have been going in, but I mean, it was we needed something, but again, it was a little too late. It was just like frustrating because I still feel like if we just minimize those mistakes, like those little things, just playing simple. I know it's just like, yeah, kick the ball out instead of giving them multiple chances. I don't know. I know
yeah,
it was bigger than that, but we could have gave ourselves a better chance in this game. That's all. And I think the team deserves it, and they got to be frustrated with it. I hope they are.
yeah. I think the second goal too is just unfortunate because by a foot, Peter Stroud keeps him on side. First of all, Fafa Pico should not have that much space to give a cross. And then Noaila, unfortunately doesn't clear it as well. But he has to clear the ball regardless. It's just unfortunate timing. The Lions keeping themselves together. Just a terrible two first goals that kind of set the mood, and the team was a little bit brought down after those two goals. I think it was
Oh, a
mentally.
million percent.
Yeah,
Yep.
Once that
That's what.
happens, are you kidding me? Against them, it's just going to be even worse.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
celebrated fucking Fourth Be With You a day early. May the
um,
Fourth be with you, Star Wars. They
and
celebrated a day early.
and that's the problem. Every time the last 2 years we go to Miami, we get knocked the f out. Six
I told
goals,
you.
4 goals. Yeah, and it could have been more in the second half after they scored that fourth goal. So I think I guess the positive is like they did try to fight back when they scored that first goal, the Red Bulls, when it was 3-1. Like you mentioned, Steve, Mohamed Sofo's header. Um, there was some energy. There were some I guess intentions
Yeah,
to
there were some
put.
moments.
However, I also think that there's always a problem penetrating defense. We seem to lack an ability to do that, and I just don't know how we can break that
Hmm.
or how we can progress in that area.
It seems like we desperately need Lewis Morgan back, but we
Mm.
can't just rely on that one player. But guys like him and Cam Harper, at least that duo, and God, whenever we're going to see Marcelo too, I think that'll help us push the pace a little bit more
So
on that left side.
I'm a little worried about how do I say this? How much of an importance people are putting on Lewis Morgan
Yeah,
to
that's what I'm saying. We're banking on that a lot,
a
right?
lot. Like
That's bad.
Jokin, you, Steve, everybody is all about, oh, when he comes back, when Lewis comes back, when Lewis comes back. We've been hearing a lot about Lewis coming back. What the fuck are they expecting this guy to? He went to Brazil and got injected with Pele DNA. Like, no, no. Like, what are you expecting? We know what he can do, but everybody else has to do what they have to do for ordering him to work. But they're not even doing their part right now. So even if he was there, how do we know that the results aren't going to be the same?
Yeah,
I think it'll just like we said, just going off of Christian's point of just helping us penetrate some lines in the sense of like getting some combination plays and feeling good about ourselves. I really want to see us at full strength too. That's the only reason thing. That's the only other point too. Like I want to see Marcelo in there, and I want to see Lewis Morgan with Chupo. I don't think we've really even seen that. So with at least those guys combining, and we saw that last year where it was like J to Lewis to Forsberg, we would see these combination plays, and that's what got us excited about this team initially.
yeah. And also, but I also have to mention Omar Valencia because gets his fourth assist in the season. He was praised in Apple TV. A lot of people were uh, concern about what his future would look like for this year. And honestly, I don't think Marcelo has it easy. I'm actually very pleased with Valencia.
Me too.
I think we lacked attack on the right side, and we really can't ask much from Kyle Duncan because he's just coming back from injury. And
But he looked good again, I thought.
he
Wait, and
looked.
how guys? How about this? Sorry to interrupt. They
Uh-huh.
actually did credit the goal to Sofo.
Yes, yes, yeah. I remember seeing that because it seemed like he didn't touch it. Chupo didn't touch it. So kudos to Sofo because I also think he had a decent game.
Yep. Yeah.
How were the Red Bull winning 1-0 to these guys?
So
That sounds
so
about right. Hey, I mean,
so
at least we're not playing in front of Patrick Mahomes and all those celebrities this time. It's low pressure this time.
yeah, and you know what's funny? You mentioned Wiki. Well, this is probably Wiki's level, you know? This is USL. So I think he can at least perform here.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's the problem that we're having. I mean, still, as much as I love all our young guys too, it's just like a lot of them have just graduated from RB2. Uh, you
Yeah.
know, let's just say Wiki Carmona, Omar Valencia. I mean, he's stepped up though, and Mohamed Sofo, arguably Ronald Doncor. Okay, Dennis Gengar as well, Julian Hall. Okay, Andy Rojas. That's just 7 guys I just named, and that's a good part of our team.
yeah, yeah, but I also think we have regressed a little bit. Julian Hall, non-existent. I mean, he tried. He's also not getting enough minutes. Um, but there are some players that are not really performing at a high level. I think Peter Stroud does what he can, but man, do we really miss Daniel Edelman? I think a lot of people have criticized Daniel Edelman because he doesn't pass forward a lot. But no, he's gritty, man. He's
Yeah,
he's
we
he's
need.
somebody. He's a soldier over there in that
Yeah,
midfield.
yeah, we really need him. And it's funny because now Carballo's healthy and now Edelman's out. But it's good to see Edelman on the bench for this game right now that we're watching U.S. Open Cup game. So I think Edelman will be back on the field soon.
Yeah, yeah. So just to let people know, if they're if they're gonna listen to this tomorrow, we are watching it on our phones on the TV. Rebels are winning 1-0 against Colorado Switchbacks from Mohamed Sofo. Third goal of the season, then, right? Two goals in
Yeah.
MLS and one
Yeah.
goal here. That's great. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really good, actually.
Yeah.
So one less goal than Chupo in the season. So I think there are positives. I do like Sandro's mentality that you know there are things that you can take away from the game. Like I
You have a
mentioned,
Sandro roller coaster.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that, but I mean, I can't dwell on the past. I can't dwell on the negatives because I'm gonna die. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be so every week. I'm gonna be like, I hate Sandro. Let's
Yeah.
send him back to Germany, um, so we can get
Let's
another
send
German
Wiki to
coach.
the moon.
Him, Sandro, joking, all of you.
It's just because also it's just like, we get this little spotlight, you call it, this game against Miami, and we're always falling on our fucking faces and making a,
But
fool
that's
of
not true because they beat them before. And
at home. I don't think we've beaten them in Miami.
listen to me right now. This week, you have an LA team that was like the New England team that they played, who hasn't won, losing and tying in the craziest ways possible,
Hungry for a win.
need a win, and there's a team that isn't that good right now. Like, I am not surprised if they win this game 1-0, LA.
The generous rebels. We love to make people
Yes.
happy. We love
Yes.
we love
Or
to
if
give
they
away
draw,
points.
this is one that they have to win at home because then you got the Derby. Dude, if you go into the Derby after losing to LA, I mean, hopefully beating these guys, right? But do we even count this?
I
Getting
mean, you
smacked by Miami, putting on a terrible performance against Montreal, 1-0 game, right? Who was before that? That was terrible.
DC United.
DC United, like that's five, the last five going into the Derby. If they lose this game, is a terrible last five.
Yeah. No, no,
yeah.
it's scary. It's definitely scary out there. We got to wake up sooner or later. These guys got to step up. That's why I'm mad about this game. That's what I'm saying. It's just like these guys are kind of like, oh yeah, we've been here before where we lost here, 6-2. What was that last year? So if they think they can bounce back, I believe in them to bounce back again. But at the same time, I don't want to be eighth. ninth, seventh. I want to be, in the top four. Again, that's the aim. That's got to be the aim for this club. And that's why these games are like, this is a good test to see where we're at. And we're definitely not a top four side at all right now. Again,
Right now, we're in 10th place. We are out of a playoff spot. Sandro mentioned in the press conference that he doesn't seem that much of a difference compared to last year, especially because of those 2 points. So I wanted to ask you on that because there was a lot of people on Twitter, or I'm sorry, X, that were not happy with these comments.
Yeah. Listen, I'm the first one. I said it a couple of weeks ago. Have to stop comparing it to last year. I made a comment on your post. Um, why are we still talking about that group from last year? It's not even the same group anymore. Like the band has been dismantled. You have a few guys and you added a few other pieces. Like the band has been dismantled from the one that started this thing last year. You also had a group of guys who got crazy hot at the right time. Like all the stars aligned for you. Like, come on, man. Like, have to stop. You have to really do what you have to do right now. And it's win. And they're not doing that. Like they brought in a new coach 2 years ago. He brought them to the final. Is it a fluke? Was it a fluke? Was it a situation where everything just aligned and it all worked out for everybody that was there? Because if you look at the numbers, remember when you posted a few weeks ago, maybe like a month ago, his record, what was it? Sandro's record? It's like, wow, when you see it out there like that, you're like, oh shit.
A lot of
It's
draws.
just you gave everybody the best time of their life for that little 2 months.
yeah,
Yeah,
and only because the club's been waiting, right, for that moment for so long. And I think it was so overdue. Like that's the thing. Like in our history, like that cup run, that should have happened years ago under the management and the teams that we had. Like it was such a weird situation. Like, I don't know. We needed that, but it's long overdue. I hope it's just this one year that we still have this, like, oh, he brought us to the final. Like, you're always going to get that extra year in any sport. If you bring a team to a final that you wouldn't peg them to go to the final, that was the thing too, is that we were massive underdogs and he brought us there, and it was a wild, magical ride. So yeah, the stars did align. Was it a fluke? Not really, because any team can do it and pull it out. Then let's see him do it, right? But Sandro got these guys playing right, good enough. And that's what I'm saying. It starts at the back with Carlos. Come on, we can't forget about your guy.
well,
Even Carlos didn't have a great game.
that's what I'm saying. Carlos did not have a good game because I feel like in one of those plays, yeah, it's difficult to react, but he could have swapped the ball in one of the headers. I think the second
Yeah,
goal, he
yeah,
could have swapped the ball. Instead, he's waiting for this guy to shoot at him. Dude, you gotta be reactive, man. You gotta be concentrated in these matches, especially if you're playing against Messi in Miami. I
yeah.
mean, now you're not asking for the bag, Jumpy. So I don't know. You can
That's
say
no, I'm still saying Carlos, bro, he's not perfect. Actually, you know what, dude? I guess
It's MLS.
not even that. Like,
sometimes maybe
it's
good, sometimes maybe shit.
that's it. The final, he was shit. Don't forget. He was great all the way before that. Final, he was shit. He's been great every week before this. This week, he went to shit. I mean, he just picks his times to go to shit. They're not the good times.
Mm-hmm.
When it matters, when it matters. That's when it
But
matters.
he does deserve the bag. Everybody stop bullshitting. I'm not a roller coaster on that.
I
Give him
know.
the fucking bag.
It's going to be hard to forget about this final, but I hope, like I said, I hope it's just for this beginning part of the season, maybe. And if we maybe start going on like another cup run, we get something other going in the League's Cup or US Open Cup to get us our minds off of that from last year. That'll help. I think the season, as we progress. But right now, yeah, I'm not happy with the team right now. I'm pretty pissed.
Yeah. I think everybody was disappointed, especially because we know how important the standings are when it comes to the playoffs. We want to be, like you said, Steve, top four, but growing pains also. So I know that we should have everybody back in the next couple of weeks. Lewis Morgan. We're also supposed to have. I don't know what the situation is with Cam Harper. We gotta see, but he's definitely an important piece for me. He's a key player in this system. So I'm crossing my fingers, hoping that he's fine. But if we are healthy, uh, is this a good of a it's good enough of a team that can take us to that level again to be fighting for championships.
So I think we all know that it's not. It could be, but we all know at this moment it's not. But I also think that they know that it's not. And that's why, when you asked him, Sandro, a couple weeks ago, like, well, I don't know about right now, but in the summer, so they know that they need to get somebody. They know that they're going to bring somebody in the summertime. So they know that this puzzle isn't complete. They're telling us it's not complete. Um, so that's that, right? That's really, he put his cards on the table. We know that they're going to bring somebody in that they know it's not all there. So it's
Mm.
not all there.
Let's
That's a good
bring
point.
somebody in. That's what I'm saying. I think I know we're still waiting on a couple guys to come back, but I want to see those guys come back. And until then, I guess I'll give them my final judgment. But I don't know how much faith I have in it. Like you said, we're going all in, putting all our eggs in the Lewis Morgan basket here.
Oh man, Lewis
He's
Morgan.
bottom.
Lewis Morgan. I
Yo,
just hope he's healthy.
speaking of Lois Morgan, I had three cards signed that I brought with me to the stadium,
Hmm.
and I posted. I'm like, "Yo, come find me, right? If you get these cards." So while my daughter was getting her face painted, some guy and his dad were there, so I gave them one, and they were all fired. He's like, "Oh, dude, good luck." So he's all fired up, and then I'm sitting there in my seat because I sat with my daughter, my friend Omar, his kids, and some kid comes up to me with his mom, and she's like, "Oh my God, I recognize her from your photo. We've been looking for you in the stadium." And this kid was so fired up with his Lois Morgan card. I was
That's
like, I'm gonna
awesome.
have to do this every week. I'm gonna have to do this every week. I'm gonna have to bring cards signed by people every week, give them to the kids. Everybody have a good time. I was rolling. I'm like, that's crazy. Somebody came out on the limb looking for this card.
that's
Yeah, man.
that's great. That's great. That's how you connect. You make people happy.
Yeah, bro. Come sell the cards and stuff at the pop up. Why not?
Nah, nah, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. But I'm
Uh,
excited for this pop up. Chris, you better pop up for a pop up.
Yeah,
Maybe
pop
we
up.
should do
100%,
this from
bro.
there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We can do an episode there.
Yeah, that would be
I
crazy. We do one live.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the people want to see. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
also
yeah,
think
yeah.
Sofo.
it's. I
Sofo.
think Sofo again. Here we go. This is great. This is why I'm on
Four
the stream.
goals in the season.
Sofo goal, second of the game, fourth of the season. Sofo kisses the badge too.
He loves. He was okay against Miami. That's what I'm saying. Like, and not just because he scored these last two goals, but he was putting himself in positions to produce. Um, yeah, I guess let's start him instead of Chupo. I think I'm okay with
Well,
that.
he did start versus Miami.
I'm kidding. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no. I'm just saying replace him with Chupo and put Victor Bogas or something. I don't
Dude,
know because it seems to
I
be
love
working
these
here.
It's
games.
good to
I
see
love
Victor
these games.
Boga get a start finally.
Dude, if they win, where's their next game? Do they play Montclair?
No, we play in Montclair. Yeah, it's gonna be at
Yes,
home.
let's
Yeah,
go.
and if I'm not
Oh man, that's
mistaken,
going to be amazing.
Dude,
it's gonna
it's
be
the best.
Dallas.
I love the games and these little stadiums.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And it sucks that Colorado, I think it's still kind of cold out there. I mean, they got some people there in the stadium, but it's not as packed as, as I think it should be. But it's also USL. But the USL is growing. I will give you, there's a couple spots in the USL, like Rhode Island too. They just built their own like soccer specific stadium. They got a nice thing little going there. Louisville's got a nice little team down there in the USL. New York City FC have to go play the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. That's a cool little stadium. Honestly,
So
I'm
I have a conspiracy about this.
looking forward to that one.
I have a conspiracy about this.
But we're
So last year, people were pissed that some teams didn't send their first team. Remember? Red
Mm.
Bull, one of the teams that didn't send their first team. And then you make them travel after the toughest week to Colorado to start this thing. You're telling me there's no collusion somewhere? It's not even a joke. I brought this up to Zach and I brought this up to everybody while they were talking. They're like, yo, I didn't even think of that. I'm like, oh, of course, 1,000,000%. You guys didn't send your best guys last year. We're gonna fuck you the first week. You're going to Colorado right after you play Miami. And then you're
that.
coming back to play LA Galaxy.
Mm.
Listen, no, yeah, I think it's really difficult to do all that traveling, but you have to be ready for that. You have 22, 23 players in the first team roster. Obviously, there's more, but I'm saying these people should be able to compete. I mean, you can mix and match. I think that's what they did for this game. But we gotta expect them to be to play at a high level, Jumpy. Like this, that's normal. I do have to ask you guys. We got 5 minutes. LA Galaxy's coming to town. You touched on it a little bit. What should we expect from our team against LA?
Hmm. Great
The
question. Great question. I'm expecting Sofo to score another one. So on and I'm just kidding. But no, I expect us to get back to the basics of doing, like I said, the simple things right. I'm not gonna cry if it's 0-0 at half, but I need a win. I need a win in any fashion just to get the mojo ready for NYCFC away, because that's always going to be a tough game. And they're aiming for our necks. Um, we have to keep it tight again with this LA team. They're hungry for a win, and usually, like we say, a hungry dog runs faster. So they'll want that 3 points, but I think we'll get it done in this match against LA. It's going to be tight for sure. 2-1 Red Bull.
Jorge.
um, I'm thinking you have a situation like DC United situation. We all know that the Red Bulls seem to play down to these terrible teams, and that always ends up terrible. Um, if they play to not lose, they will lose this game. You have a team that needs a win. They've been getting closer. Last week, they lost on an own goal. No shots. The other team had no shots on net. No shots on net. They made one mistake. So I'm thinking either 1-0 LA or 1-1 draw.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, honestly, if we don't beat the worst team in MLS, I think are they the worst team? One of them, at least.
New
We
England was
haven't
when we
won.
met them too, when we saw them too. New England was.
Hey,
Yeah,
NYCFC lost to them too. So
yeah, and but the whole thing is that they haven't won a single game, and we can be Santa Claus to all these shitty teams that we're playing. We can at least keep the good form at home. I believe it's what now? 4 wins and one loss, right? Against DC United.
Yeah.
So it's still a great record. And I think it's important, like you said, Jumpy. I think it's a mentality. Go into these next couple of games. I think they're gonna win this one against the Colorado Switchbacks. Get some momentum going.
mm.
And like when it comes to Derby, I don't think you need any inspiration. It's a fucking Derby. You gotta show up. Otherwise, I'm gonna
Otherwise
be
the fans are going to get
I'm,
real
yeah.
pissed.
I'm
Otherwise,
fired
I
up.
have to
I'm
deal with
so
chopped
fired
cheese
up.
every
That's
fucking
that's
week.
where you really start to ruffle some feathers. So you got a finals rematch here. Exactly. Let's think of it that way too. Like this team beat you guys in the cup final. A lot of these guys were on that team still. So let's hope they hold some of that grudge against LA. And I need them coming out firing. Like I said, I think we're gonna snake out of there with the win, and we'll get back on track.
Revenge time, baby. All right. So close us off, guys. Thank you for listening. Any last words from you, Jorge and Steve?
Guys, let's make it out to the stadium. Go nuts. Don't wear a Messi jersey. Root on for your team. If you're going to CNYCFC, go put on a blue shirt. Go root for your team. Don't wear a Messi shirt. Root local. Have a good time. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna try to keep, more fans coming out, which is funny. I just read some news that the Red Bulls just hired a new marketing leader. So
Saw that. I saw that.
Katie Nahum or something, chief marketing officer to accelerate brand and fan growth. Okay,
Okay.
so clearly the Red Bulls know that our fandom kind of sways back and forth. When the team's doing good, obviously the fans are going to show up. The team isn't doing so great right now. Let's see what the turnout is in LA versus LA. But there's plenty to sell here in this match. I think it's Noche Latina night or Night of Latina. I don't know. Something is going on
BBL
that
night.
night. Yeah. Yeah, something's going on that night. So, I'll be there. Christian will be there. We'll all be there back where we're supposed to be.
So I have an
Aligned.
injury. I have an injury at the moment, so I might not be there. I did something to my foot, so I have to see. I was hoping they were going to give me a boot, but they gave me a soft
We'll
cast.
put you in a wheelchair if we need to.
More Latinas
Dude,
for
I've been in a
Steve, baby.
wheelchair the past 2 days, bro. Please, please.
Oh, well, I'm so sorry to hear that, Jorge.
Yes.
Put him
But
on the put him on the injured reserve. Here.
That's what I said. I said,
IR,
I'm on the
IR.
IR and I just watch.
Bring in Mo.
Just go in the fucking Red Bull Arena, I get an injury. All these guys are hurt. I'm on the fucking list too.